So we have a bunch of images. Those images, they have those IDs. So this is going to be useful to identify what should we remove, what should we add. And we have two divs with the same class, box. All right? And we want to go back and forth. But first, we're just going to one side, which is simpler, and then I will show you how to evolve from that. So what's the first thing we need to do here? Any idea?
Get a reference size boxes.
We need to get references for our images and boxes. So I'm gonna get all the images over here. And I'm just gonna put some ID on the second box. So it makes it easier to understand in the beginning. So we have box 2. And we're getting this guy. Fetching this guy over here. Awesome.
Your box 2 and box 2 are the same.
Oops. Cool. So now you have them both. And we need to get the reference for the image that we're dragging. How can we do that?
e.target.id.
Cool. So what event should we listen to get this?
Drag start.
Drag start. Awesome. So we're gonna add an event listener, drag start. And is this gonna work?
Why drag start and not drag?
Because drag is gonna fire 100 times and I just want the reference one time. Why is this not working? Why is this not gonna work?
You have to specify which thing in images. Like which one you're dragging.
No,
Do a loop over.
exactly. We're trying to attach event listeners into an array, and this is not gonna work. We need to attach for every single image. So we're gonna loop on that. So we have images. Now I'm just gonna copy this code over here.
You can't do e.target inside the function.
Doesn't have E yet. Or he's attaching the event listener. He doesn't have an E yet.
So E is when you have an event listener and it says, what event am I listening for? You listen for the drag start. And then when it happens, run this function. And the E is the element or the item that kind of triggered it, right? So if we drag one image, then we're going to have information about that one image, and that's what gets passed to E. If we drag the second image, then we'll have information about the second image, and then that entire thing is E for whichever image we drag. It becomes the image we drag. That's what E is.
Cool. This is the event callback that we get from this function. And I'm just calling it E to make it. You got it? No?
Takes a little time to get your head around it.
You're saying that the E is the thing that we click on, right?
The E's the event, but he doesn't have the event yet. He's trying to attach the listener. It's not triggered yet.
What do you mean by the listener?
He's an event listener. Yeah, but that's not inside the functions. That's not inside the callback function, so you don't have E yet.
You got to let you know it takes a while. Just
Hey,
hang
but
with
then you've been dealing with the event listener for
Yeah.
a while. So I don't get it.
Real quick.
No, keep going. We're recording still.
Sorry.
So we are looping through these images, and we're attaching drag start events, right? Cool. Now that I have this, I have a reference for this guy. Cool?
Cool.
So let's check it out. Let's see what's happening over here right now. see this? I know I'm dragging the heart, and the reason why I'm using the drag start and not drag, it's because I don't want this to fire thousands of times. I just want this to fire one time. So now that I have drag start, I have hearts, now I have clubs, now I have diamonds, spades. Cool? So they have IDs for each of them, so just get the ID. Van.target.id. Now I just have the ID. Hearts, clubs, diamonds. Cool? Nice. And I guess this is going to be useful because when I drop it over here, I want to know exactly what I dropped.
Give it a variable name.
Exactly. So I'm going to create a global variable called select, like dragged element ID, or just dragged element, and I'll put and here it's like undefined, and now I'm just assigning this event.target. Cool? If I console.log this, dragged element, now it's undefined, of course. Cool. Is there anything that is not clear right now? So we did this a couple times. We're looping through a collection, and we are attaching some event. In this case, is a drag start event.
You don't need that line 39, right?
I'm gonna need it in the future. I want to know when I drop this guy. I want to know who was this guy. If I don't save it somewhere, I'm not gonna be able to know it.
Going back to the whole thing about event listener, how different is console.log versus console.log.target?
So this is the whole event. This is the mouse event. It has tons of stuff. What's the client X of the X position, the Y position, data transfer, movement, offset, screen, fill. All I want to know is the guy that I'm dragging.
Okay.
Cool?
Thank you.
And now I'm gonna attach a different listener for the box too, right? And what is the listener that I should attach to this guy? So this is what I want to do. I want something to happen when I drop this guy.
Drag enter.
Drag and
Turn.
No, enter.
That drop.
Drag
Drop.
enter on the box.
yeah, drop is the best event. Yeah. So now I'm telling box 2 to attach this listener.
You don't want to do image I?
Image what?
Images I?
Images Y.
I. You don't need to do like a loop again?
I will do that, but now I have the ID, and I just want to do this. That's my first goal.
Okay. Draw.
This is not a collection. This is a list of images. This is just one item. I can't attach events to a list of items. I just can't attach event to one item. So when I drop this, what should I do?
Transfer that image.
Now you want to take the drag element and you want to remove it from where it was
Let's try this out. Let's just check the value of drag element. And now we see why it's important to store that on a variable. Because when you drop it, I want to know what happened. But you know we have some problems. There's a drag over event that prevents us to receive that information. So here's what I'm going to do. Just check if this is going to work. It is. So this drag over event, the browser has some, there are some ways that the browser handles stuff by default. So if we have a link and we have some path over here, when I click on in this link, something's gonna happen, right? I don't need to attach any event. I'm going to this URL, right? So this is the default behavior that you're gonna expect from a link when you click on it. But you can prevent that by saying like, oh, my link, click, and I can just prevent default that behavior. I don't know if you guys saw this on the previous weeks.
No.
No? Yeah. There are a couple ways that you can prevent something to happen. So let me just put some ID here.
Well, maybe we did, but it's brief.
With forms, yeah. This is one thing that is pretty common with forms. So I have, where's my link? So I'm just gonna copy this over, okay? So if I click on this link, what's gonna happen? I'm going to the other page, right? This is the default behavior of link. But what if I have a link and I have this href value, but I don't want this link to go to the other page? So you can detect the click event and then prevent the default behavior. And that's how you do it. So now, now I'm on this page, I have this link. Okay? So this is pretty common if you're submitting a form and you want to like validate some stuff before submitting. There are like lots of different use cases for this. If you have links with anchors like this, and you don't want to jump to the page and go to another anchor, so this is how you prevent default events from the browser. So now that we did that, we are triggering this. Whenever I drop on the box on the right, I'm checking out which one I'm dropping it. So I have everything that I need now. I can just create a new variable here called element. Can get this guy again. No, actually, I already have it. So I can just, let me just remove it. Okay, so now I'm removing it from the previous state. And you should check your so on box 2, append child, drag element. First I'm going to append and then I'm going to remove. Why it didn't work? There's something wrong here.
You're trying to drop the whole
Maybe.
It
So,
would be ID.
so let's do one thing. Let's rename this variable to drag. Oh, we can leave it the same name, but instead of saving the HTML, I'm gonna save the ID. So now that I have an ID, I'm gonna fetch this element by ID, which is dragged element, and now just remove that element. Append and remove. Does this make sense now?
Well, how come it would remove, but it went in a pin with the other one?
We could just like inner HTML on this. To
This is you're removing after appending
what?
the order.
Oh, okay. So we're removing from the other position and appending now.
An item can only be in one slot at a time, so you append child, it's being moved, and you do remove, and it's going away.
Oh, so you don't need that second ID though, because you switch the order. Is that right?
What?
Yeah, you don't need the ID, you don't need to, you can keep the old method with recording the entire element. You just have to have the remove.
Oh, okay. So we did one way, correct? Is there anything that you find it weird or you can't understand what's going on over here?
I have a question. If you drag on top of one that's already dragged,
What?
it disappears. If let's say you drag one of the images and then drag a second one on top of it,
So
then you have to take that.
if I drag this one over here or not?
Put it over the
On top of another suit that's already there.
Yeah. No, it has to be in the box. So drag two icons to the other side. Yeah. Just drag it. Then drag the heart over the diamond.
The heart over here?
Yeah, on the diamond. I thought mine just mine actually disappears. It's weird.
So now that we did for one way, going to the box on the left and dropping on the box on the right, how can we do it? We do that both ways. Any idea how can we do both ways? So we actually don't need this ID over here. Why don't we attach the same event and the same behavior for any box? So I don't just fetch all the boxes. And a for loop. So have you seen what I did here? I removed the ID. I changed my selector to get all the boxes. And I'm just attaching and running the same code for all boxes. Now I can move around.
How does it know to determine the order based on,
The order is based on my markup over here.